Hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by for your daily Reiki micro session. You guys have probably been wondering if I would ever come back. Well, I am back. So, we're going to do a Reiki micro session. It's a micro session because it's only 5 minutes long, where a normal Reiki session does last for an hour. At least a normal Reiki session with me lasts for an hour. So, we'll do the Reiki micro session. And Reiki is good for so many wonderful things. People who know about Reiki generally know that it's good for medical situations to help with improvements and healing in that area. It's also good for mental and emotional situations. It helps with anxiety, it helps with relationships, and it helps with even financial situations. I've seen it do quite a bit of help with. So lots of things that we can use Reiki for. I don't know what each of you need the most. So what I'm doing is I'm just asking the Reiki to do whatever will benefit each of you the most in your own lives for today. So we'll start off with Reiki, and then after that we'll do 5 minutes of questions where you guys can ask whatever questions that you want, whatever's on your heart or on your mind at that point. And I'll use my psychic abilities and my tarot cards to come up with some good answers for you from spirit on those questions. But for right now, we're just starting with the Reiki. So let's go ahead and get that started. And for those of you who don't know about Reiki, this is a great chance while I'm doing the Reiki for you to ask any kind of questions that you may have about it. Let's get it started. All right, so we are starting Reiki 50 minutes after the hour. That means we'll finish it up at 55 after the hour. Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever did that. I appreciate that. If you guys have questions about the Reiki, feel free to go ahead and throw them in the chat. This is a great time to ask those questions. Perfectly happy to answer any questions you may have about Reiki at this time. Anybody. You guys are being quiet tonight. You're probably not my normal crowd. Normally, I'm on here much earlier than this time of night. But this is how you meet new people, right? So I am feeling a lot of Reiki energy that's going into knees and ankles. And knees and ankles are really interesting. Some of you could actually be having physical things going on with the knees and ankles and need the Reiki for that. Others of you may have situations in your life that you're having a hard time moving forward with. And so when we get Reiki energy into knees and ankles, that means that there's going to be a change in perception about going with the flow. So this can be really helpful if you have situations where you need to make changes and you're just really resistant to those changes. This can also be helpful if you're on the other end of this pendulum too, where you have situations in life that, you're being sort of, you're finding yourself feeling like you need to make changes or you're giving in to making changes that really are taking you off course, off your purpose, off your mission. And so, either way, with the Reiki coming in, that's helping to balance that out so that you're able to go with the flow. You're able to be flexible, but you're able to be flexible without coming off your own personal course for your life. So, that's where I see a lot of action happening as far as where the Reiki is going to those of you who are viewing this video now, and also those who are viewing it later after it's not live. Reiki is really good in that it's effective even if it's not being sent in the moment, if it's been sent earlier, because Reiki is energy and energy is not limited by time or space. So anybody who watches this video, even if they watch it like 2 months from now or 2 years from now, can still get some good out of the Reiki energy. Isn't that kind of cool? I think it is. Thank you for the thumbs ups, guys. I appreciate those. If anybody has questions about Reiki, this is definitely the time to ask those. Happy to answer those for you. We've got 2 more minutes of Reiki before we go into more of the psychic mode where we get into psychic questions. If you haven't said hello, feel free to go ahead and say hi. I can see that there's 4 of you in here, but I have no idea who you all are. One more minute left on the Reiki. Any questions about Reiki? For those of you that are here, happy to answer those. We have a shy crowd today so far. All right, 5 minutes of Reiki is up. Let's go ahead and wrap up the Reiki. And let's move on to questions. This is your guys' time to ask me some questions. I'll use my psychic abilities and the tarot cards to answer those. You've got 5 minutes. I'm starting the timer right now. So you want to throw those up in the chat right now, because once this timer goes off, I am done for the night. So what do you have for me? What kind of questions would you like answered? There's got to be somebody with some questions out there. Life isn't always cut and dry, is it? I don't know why I'm not seeing anybody chatting at all. That is not normal. That is not normal. I think I'm going to go in my back office real quick and see if for some reason the chat just is not showing up. That has happened before where I couldn't see the chat, but you guys were talking to me. So let's find out. Let's see. Is this going to show me that? I don't know if my back office is going to show me that. It used to. All right, I guess it's not. So much for that idea. All right, well, I kind of have the feeling that you guys are talking to me because I never have a silent chat room. And since I can't see y'all's questions, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a message for the room. And hopefully YouTube will have this glitch worked out by tomorrow. So, what do people in the room need to be aware of? Let's find out. Okay. Is this them or somebody? This is them, isn't it? Okay, so I've got a few people in the room here who you're in a situation with somebody where you're feeling like you have to mother them or father them. You feel like you have to look out for them or look over them. And this is not, we're not talking about just your literal children. We're talking about another adult person in your sphere of influence who you feel like you need to really look out for and take care of and almost be like a mother or father figure to them, even though they're an adult and they should be responsible themselves. Okay. And I think what comes up here is that you've been finding yourself in this position with this person, but you're not 100% comfortable with it. You're kind of questioning, is this really the position that I want to have with this person? Is this really the way I want this situation to unfold, as me being the responsible person and them being the happy-go-lucky sabotager of everything? And so I think you've really been, trying to rethink your role with this person is what shows up here on the board. Let's see what's happened in the past. Okay, so in the past, you made a decision that you were going to be this person, this role in this person's life, this person who sort of looks out for and, kind of takes somebody under their wing and does whatever they can for them to make them be successful. Why is this happening? Well, I think that you decided to do this because you had some kind of situation go down that was really frustrating. And I think it was very frustrating for you to see this person not being able to succeed in the way that you thought that they should be able to succeed. And so whenever this frustrating situation came up, that's what made you make up your mind, you know what? No, I'm not going to let them fall on their face. I'm going to make sure they don't, even if it means I'm doing what they're supposed to be doing, or technically what is their responsibility. Okay. So what happens in the subconscious mind is now you've got this whole idea of, well, how long do I have to keep doing this? Now I've got this trend started. How much further into the future do I have to carry this through? How much longer do I have to be responsible for this other person's responsibilities? Sorry about that. If I had seen the chat, that would be the end of question time. But since I don't have any chat coming through, we're doing something different. Okay, so anyway, what I'm saying is that you guys are really questioning, okay, how long do I want to play this role now? I've been playing it for a while, and I'm not sure that this is the role that I want to carry for the rest of my life. Excuse me. Wet my whistle there. What's coming in the near future is you're making a decision coming up in the future. You're making a decision to focus on the things that are important to you. And right now, you're just having to figure out, okay, is this thing the most important thing to me? Or is there something more that I want to focus on, that I want to really put my attention on? Because I think part of the reason that you're questioning this and how long you have to do it is because it is taking away your attention from what the things are that you really want to focus on for yourself and the progress that you would like to make as a person. And you're seeing yourself as you're giving all this energy to helping this other person maintain their responsibilities, that's restricting you from being able to do what you want to do as far as your own, handling your own responsibilities and building your own responsibilities. Okay. Advice here is a heads up. Heads up is really just that this is something that is depleting you. This is something that is taking away your resources. For some of you, it's taking away your financial resources. You can see from that card that, these people are in kind of a dire circumstance. So it can be that, something is taking away from your financial resources. It also could just be that this is taking away from your energy, your general overall energy and vitality. Maybe you're spending all your energy and vitality on them instead of you. Okay. That's kind of the heads up there, like be aware. Outside influence. Outside influence really is you. Your own intuition. This is pay attention to your own intuition. If something is not feeling right, you don't have to keep following it. Pay attention to that intuition because that intuition is not going to lead you wrong. Just doesn't. Just doesn't. Let's look at what you're hoping for or what you're fearing. We'll see which way it comes up out of this situation. Mm. Hmm. What you're hoping for is pretty much the same as what you're fearing. I think you're hoping, well, not exactly the same. I think you're hoping to be able to let go of these responsibilities that you've picked up at the one point because you were frustrated because you were seeing the other person not handle them very well. So you're hoping to let go of those responsibilities. What your fear is, excuse me, your fear in this situation is that if you let go of those responsibilities, that other person may let go of you. That other person has come to the point where they rely on you fulfilling those responsibilities. So if you don't fulfill them, then they may go somewhere else and find somebody else who will fulfill them. That's your fear. Your hope is to be able to put that responsibility down. Your fear is that if you put that responsibility down, then this other person just disappears. Okay. What's the outcome of this situation? Three of Stones, creativity. So this is just telling me that the outcome of the situation has to do with working together, with compromise, with negotiating, with coming up with a plan. I don't think you're going to be fully putting down these responsibilities, but I do think that you're going to be carrying less of them as you go along. I think you're going to be communicating with this other person and letting them know, you know what, I can't keep doing all of this anymore. What can you do? What can you pick up as far as responsibilities here so that I don't have to keep carrying this burden, so that I'm freed up to do some things that are important in my life path on my journey here as well. And so this talks about compromise. This is the actual outcome, is the compromise, the working together to complete whatever this is. That's the responsibility of the other person that you've been helping out with so consistently lately. Okay? So that's what we've got the message for our people in the room today, whether you're watching now or watching later. I hope that you guys found that beneficial. I still don't have anybody showing up in chat, which I know somebody said something by now. So I do want to let you guys know that I appreciate you. I also appreciate the thumbs ups, and I appreciate you sharing this video with others as well. I really want to help everybody that I can out there. So the more you can get me in front of other people, yay, the more I get to help other people. So thank you very much for that. Thank you also to those of you who are purchasing private readings from me and private Reiki sessions, excuse me. And I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for hanging out and still coming back here even after I got my move done and over. It took longer than I expected, but I am definitely glad to be back. Everybody have a fantastic evening, and I'll see you guys back on the next video if I don't see you here for a private before then. Peace out.